How can we recognize expanded, increased consciousness within ourselves? What does higher consciousness in human form actually look like? Now, higher consciousness can mean different things to different people since we are all on our own spiritual evolution. But nevertheless, I have brainstormed 7 signs that you are developing an expanded consciousness. So without further ado, let's get into it. Number 1, moving beyond mind. So ever since we were a small child and we began to think and we began to develop a sense of me, a sense of self, then we have potentially identified with the thoughts in our mind, the voices in our mind that sound like us. But when we expand our awareness, what actually happens is we really begin to cultivate or develop this awareness of another dimension that exists within us that actually transcends mind. One that is able to witness thoughts, one that is able to witness emotions as energy inside of us, and one that is able to really watch ourselves go through our human experiences. We begin to disidentify from mind and actually identify more with what we are beyond the mind. We begin to identify more with this kind of canvas through which thoughts actually rise out of. We begin to identify more with what we are prior to the thought itself. And this, over time, if practiced, can really develop mastery in one's life and this deep, pure sense of freedom as we're able to glide through our human experiences with more ease and flow. And yes, the degree to which we actually identify with our thoughts, it can change over time as we move through different periods in our own spiritual evolution. It is a process. And there are varying levels to which one can actually kind of really attain this in their spiritual journey. Number 2, increased compassion and empathy. So many that walk this path report an rising sense of interconnectedness with all life, with everything in the universe. And as this begins to take place within us, as this shift begins to take place, we actually begin to see others as ourselves. We see them as a reflection. We see that the things we don't like in them are what we don't like about ourselves. And you know what? At this point, unkindness, like mean behavior, it can actually seem like insanity. However, we're slowly disintegrating judgment. We're slowly removing judgment, and we're able to really see the deeper truths behind people and their behavior. We see the deeper truths behind why people are the way they are. We see their traumas, their past pain, their mind identification, their social conditioning, and we realize these deeper truths, and we do feel this deeper empathy and compassion. And I guess it's not like we're able to say that bad behavior is good, or that it's right or whatever. What we're doing is we're just being able to fully to understand it and empathize with it more fully. Number 3, being more self-aware. So as we expand our consciousness, our awareness of ourself increases. I'm talking about things like our behaviors, our actions, our patterns, our tendencies, our thoughts, our emotions, our triggers, our reactions. Being aware of why these things are happening potentially, and being more aware of the deeper reasons as to why these things are happening. And being aware of when we are having thoughts that are kind of self-love, when we're having self-hate thoughts, when we're being mean to ourselves, when we're being gentle with ourselves, And having this kind of deeper realization of why we are reacting in the way that we are reacting in any given moment in time, consciously working through our pain, our past pain as it arises, and allowing that energy to move through us. Number 4, living more presently. Now this is very similar to going beyond mind, but I wanted to give it a whole category in and of itself because it really is that impactful and life-changing as we expand our consciousness. So when we begin to live more presently, we choose to let go of troublesome thinking. We choose to let go of repetitive thinking, and we choose to instead live more in the present moment. We choose to dwell within the moment, within a thoughtless mind, being totally aware of life as it plays out in front of us, rather than being lost in the past and the future, rather than being lost in times once had, rather than catastrophizing about the future or being overly focused on one's goals. Instead, we actually find this new place to dwell, one that is within a thoughtless mind, one that is more aware of what is going on around them at any given time. One where we are actually really able to appreciate and cherish the small things, the simple things that happen in life, the simple things that can be found in nature, and just through basking in the sun or hugging a loved one. Those are the things that matter to us, what is actually going on right in front of us. Not to say that we do not still reminisce, and not to say that we do not still have our goals, but we realize that all we have in any given moment is this moment right now, and we cherish that, and we realize that it is a gift. Number 5, having a deeper understanding of reality itself. So for me, I found that actually studying and having knowledge of the spiritual laws of the universe, this has really helped me to expand my consciousness. I'm talking about things like actually realizing that the mind is creating my reality, so therefore nurturing a healthy garden in the mind space, having positive self-talk, and realizing that the universe works in rhythm and that we will feel good and then we will feel bad, so I can better understand how and why I should accept life as it happens rather than resisting it. Realizing that we live in a world of cause and effect, and actually understanding that I want to stand at the cause of my life rather than the effect. Realizing that all is a reflection, since we live in a world that is based on reflection, and seeing how the universe is mirroring me at any given time, and using that to work on myself. Seeing the world as energy, frequency, and vibration, and realizing the dualistic nature of the dimension that we actually reside in. So therefore, perhaps there may not be one singular truth. Perhaps there are many truths. Perhaps my truth is different to someone else's. Number 6, being humble. Now, if we think of all of the greatest spiritual teachers in the past, and now they all radiate humility. And as we begin to really expand our consciousness, we don't want to enhance our sense of self through creating some other egoic identity, and we want to instead be as we are. And this shows up as things like, really listening to people, truly hearing them, rather than thinking about what we're going to say next. It shows up in things such as like doing random acts of kindness without telling anyone about it, and really truly seeing ourselves in others, and not having this, not having a superiority complex, really seeing ourselves as others. Number 7, love, joy, peace, and oneness. So love, joy, and peace, they are states of being that exist beyond mind. They are states of being that are more representative of what we truly are, our unnatural state of being. So as we expand our awareness, we begin to embody these states of being more often. And yes, we do move through life more peacefully. A really great sign of expanding one's consciousness is realizing that we are moving through challenging times with more grace and more peace, more ease, because we are still able to maintain this background sense of who we are beyond it all, beyond all of the stories and the experiences that play out. And yes, our awakening can also be sprinkled with these transcendental experiences where we can really feel a sense of oneness with the universe, a feeling of going back to the source and having a conscious connection with it. So before we finish, I just want to mention that your life is a journey from unconsciousness to higher consciousness, and it is a journey. So be gentle with yourself. If you feel like you are not making progress, then that's probably because we have a tendency to fixate on all the areas that we would like to work on, that we would like to get better at. So just take a moment to sit down and really reflect on how much you have actually changed in the past few years or weeks or whatever. You are a child of the universe. We are all students here, and we are always ever doing the best that we can. So thank you so much for watching this video. My name's Jasmine. If you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe. I'm offering free 25-minute one-on-one sessions if you want to speak to me. And other than that, I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Bye 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 bye.